And now we're gonna move to the work and research environment.
All right.
Kind of question. So, and one of them, like the most important steps for graduate students, especially in OSU, is the candidacy exam.
Right.
So, what is your opinion in the goal of the candidacy exam, like going or students going through candidacy, or what's your philosophy of the candidacy exam?
Right. So the candidacy exam's goal, in my opinion, is to try to determine if a student will be successful in going towards a PhD. I think it is fair to the student to find out earlier in their career than later if it's not going to work out. I think being in a program for 6, 7, 8 years and then having to leave with a PhD is much worse than having to leave after 2 years. So the goal of the candidacy exam is, well, I already said the goal at the end of the PhD is for students to be able to be critical thinkers, to be able to design experiments by themselves, or computation, or do analytical calculations themselves, but not about the technical level, but about the identifying the right questions. And so of course one doesn't expect that of a student at the beginning of their PhD, but it is about seeing their ability to think through a physics problem and do critical thinking of, of course, at a lower level than what one would expect for a PhD.
Moving on to, or like following up on this as well, like what is your metric of research progress, or like research or work progress? Is the number of like working hours one of them, and how do you assess something like that?
Right. In the end, the proof is in the pudding. So it's in how much progress is being made on a project. The number of hours, in my opinion, is not very correlated with amount of progress. Some people spend a lot of time on their desk and then they are, browsing the internet half of the time and are not very productive. Also, organizing one's work can have a huge impact on the number of hours sort of per unit of progress. Some people are good in doing multiple tasks at the same time and sort of backfilling when one task has a sort of low attention period, to backfilling it with other things, and others basically need to just wait for something and without doing something else in parallel. That has a huge impact on the number of hours that one spends per progress, if you want. So in that sense, I don't think number of hours is important. Now, it is important that that one is invested in the project. So obviously 0 hours are not going to get a student anywhere. Actually, I think that most of the ideas, the real breakthroughs, happen when one is not super actively focused on the project, but they wouldn't happen if you hadn't been so focused on your project that your brain is sort of thinking in the background when you say take a walk or take a shower or any of those things. So you have to be invested enough for your brain to come to these breakthrough ideas. But yeah, in the end of the day, what matters is that things make progress and not the number of hours spent on it.
How does work-life balance look for you now, and what does work-life balance mean in academia, in your opinion?
Yeah, that's a very difficult question.
Yeah.
Academia doesn't have a super good work-life balance. This is driven by academia. It is like the Olympics, basically. You compete worldwide with the best people in your area. If somebody else, so you can either be more efficient or put more hours in. Now, that being said, working too many hours also at some point you just cannot be productive anymore. So to work creatively, you have to find some balance between off time and on time. But it is admittedly a constant struggle for me to find the right balance, because I mean at the end of the day, between work and family and hobbies, there is always way more than 24 hours per day worth of things that I would like to do, and it's always a struggle to find the right balance that works.
I can see that. So since you mentioned like the competition being like worldwide, how do you approach balancing the quality of research with the pressure to publish or like to get things out? Is this kind of a struggle that you have to deal with recently?
I mean, after being in the field for quite a while, I think one gets a pretty good understanding of what is publishable.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't think taking shortcuts is appropriate ever. Now, one thing that one learns after a while is to see, not every project, of course, works out. And so trying to figure out which project works out early on and which one doesn't. I mean, sometimes that's not possible. But sort of their shortcuts are appropriate if one sort of tries to establish feasibility. But I mean, at the end of the day, once you want to publish, I mean, you want to stand behind what you publish, and so I mean,
it's gonna
it has to be thorough and right and well thought through before one sends something out for publication.
Can see that. So going back on a smaller level on our department, what do you think about the climate in our department and how it can be improved overall?
Right. So, I mean, as long as there are members of the department that don't feel that they belong here or that have difficult experiences in the department, the climate needs to be improved. I think this is an ongoing process that I mean that never really ends. It's not something that one suddenly decides, okay, now the climate is fine and there's nothing to be done anymore. So I mean, I think there are many people in the department that try really hard, but science is a human endeavor, and when humans interact, there are always bound to be some issues, and we have to identify them and work on them together to improve things.
I see that.